Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Tobias as the project manager with Bilingual Montessori. Um, if you haven't been with us before, I'm going to share with you a short summary about Bilingual Montessori. I will tell you about the origin story of our project. It all began when our founding partners kept hearing about the struggles and challenges and many discussions and questions that the Montessori community was having about how to best integrate bilingual education into Montessori schools effectively. In this photo, it's from the Lead Montessori Conference open space session in 2019. And this was one of those discussions and what we feel is the origin of bilingual Montessori. After this, the founding partners organized themselves, applied for, and received a 3-year grant from Erasmus Plus to support our project. And Bilingual Montessori was officially launched in February of 2022. Early on, it was decided that our approach to this challenge would come from the whole school perspective, meaning that we will focus the work on the specific needs of the different groups that make up a school, namely the Montessori guides, the language specialists, and the school leaders. Keeping those groupings in mind, we started developing the grant in 3 areas for outcomes. The first outcome we have is the methodology or field guide, which we now officially call the Field Guide for Building Bilingual Programs for Elementary Schools. This guide, of which we have been focusing much of our energies, is developing to be rich with effective classroom and administrative practices. It's something we can't wait to share with you. It also includes information from language experts to help you better understand the science of second language acquisition and development. Next, we are producing a 3-level online training course announced to you this week. It is based on the field guide. The 3 levels it is designed for are the school groupings of the Montessori guides, language specialists, and school leaders. We will be offering this in November 2024 for those wanting to build or improve a bilingual school, Montessori school, with support from our project, as well as being able to be part of a community of the course that we learn together. The last outcome we set out to accomplish is to build this community for us all, to engage, practice, support, and to relate to each other. We've done this through our community conversations, social media groups, and our website at bilingualmontessori.com, as well as the open dialogue we have had with so many of you who have reached out to us to share your experiences. The next slide is a picture of our team. If you don't know us already, you can learn more about each of us on our website under the About Us tab. And just to say that we are glad you're here. Please do keep in touch with us via our website and social media because your involvement is an important part of our journey. Let us know your needs, your ideas, and your feedback on the project. And if you haven't already, be sure to sign up for our newsletter on our website to learn about future events. And from there, you can email us at hello@bilingualmontessori.com if you have any questions or if you wish to share about your own experiences. We are always happy to hear from you. So now I will pass my word to Mary Kay, and she is going to share a project update with you.
Thanks, Amy. And those of you who have had time to read one of our newsletter that went out this week, well, there were 2. There was one that went out on Monday announcing that we're accepting applications for this online course, which is a very special opportunity since it's funded by Erasmus. It is available for free to participants. And for that reason, hold on, I want to share my screen Hold on a second. So I can walk you through on our website, so I can give you more information there. On our website, you know the home, because that's where you see the announcements for these talks and where you can register. And the information about the course is in this Erasmus tab. And here you see the different products, the different objectives that we're fulfilling with this work that's, as I said, has been funded by Erasmus. And here we have the companion course page. And then if you scroll down, then you can move to the course description. And obviously, at any time, if you feel like you know enough about the course and you want to express that you're available and interested to participate, there's a questionnaire that you can fill out. So here on this page, you have an overview of all of the characteristics of the course. The description tells you the parameters of the number of hours, the timings. It's going to happen through the month of November, 2 evenings a week, who the course presenters will be. And I think we're also going to have a couple of guest presenters joining in particular sessions as well. The requirements are here if a certificate is important to you. And the two things I wanted to highlight is the admissions criteria. This is another aspect of it being Erasmus funded. And well, first of all, obviously you have to, before you fill out the questionnaire, feel confident that you can attend all of the sessions, and that you work at a school located in Europe, because that is the priority from the Erasmus point of view. And then that you also work in a 6 to 12 classroom. Now, I've gotten emails from people asking, well, why don't you do 3 to 6? Why just 6 to 12? And just to quickly explain, it's because that's how the grant itself was written. It was focusing on 6 to 12 programs. And so that's what we're focusing on now. We're very interested in maybe in the future doing something on 0 to 6 and also adolescents, but this is our focus for right now. It's also important that you're a school leader, a school director, a coordinator. You could be a Montessori guide, or you could be a ESL teacher or an assistant. We also will give preference to groups that apply from the same school. So if a few of you at your school can make the commitment to join this course, we would give you priority in offering a place. And that's also because of our whole school focus. And so really one of our goals in our work is to support different people in different professional roles to work better together and understand what goes into different aspects of the decisions around a bilingual program. And here as well, you can see the objectives, you can see an overview of the topics by session. So you have basically all the information is here, and then you have linked to the course questionnaire, which is essentially an application form. But honestly, we really don't encourage you to fill this out unless you're sure that you can attend all 4 sessions or all 4 weeks of sessions. And obviously you can get in touch with us if you have any other questions. So we can turn to today's speaker and her very interesting topic, which is integrating teaching Cambridge English in a Montessori 6 to 9 environment.
Everyone. So we will meet in a couple of minutes, but first I would like you to answer the questions on Menti application.
Great, thank you. You can read them out, Svetlana, if you want, when they come up on the screen.
Okay. Okay, so please, if you could answer to these questions, which appear on the screen now.
We have a lot that are both, Svetlana.
That's nice. So I think that would be appropriate topic for people to hear today. The second question is, are you in a school that prepares children for Cambridge exams? So yes, no, or we are looking into it. Yes and no, equal number.
But some that are interested in looking into it, which doesn't surprise me.
Thanks for your participation. So these with these answers will help me later to see how I can manage my talk and focus on maybe some specific information here.
Svetlana Bekerman is originally from St. Petersburg in Russia, but for the last 15 years or so, she's lived in the Paris region. And for 10 years, she's been working in a Montessori school as the English coordinator, and one of the English teachers. She has they have children from 6 to 18 years old in that school. Svetlana has also created a successful online course for parents and teachers called Montessori English course, and she offers that through the Montessori Institute of Moscow. And it's 120-hour course, so it's a significant course, but she's had many successful graduates from it. And so if you are joining us and you're a Russian speaker, you can spread the word about that course and have a look at the Montessori Institute of Moscow website. Svetlana also has a doctorate in education. Her dissertation studied older, more university age adults who were studying languages, and it was entitled Communicative Strategies for Scientific Rhetoric. She started it in St. Petersburg. During that time was when she moved to Paris, and so she finished it there. She's also done CELTA training, but she does not have she's not a Montessori guide. She's taken some online Montessori training to become familiar with what their work they're doing in the school that now she's been at for 10 years. So she's a really excellent example of someone who really is an English specialist who comes into a Montessori school and then that offers the Cambridge exam to the families and prepares the students. And she's going to share with you her systematic approach that she's developed over these years and the materials she's developed and how she works with the children in this school. She's going to focus on the 6 to 9 age group, even though they have a much wider range, because that's what she's developed the materials for. That's the age group. And so I think I can turn it over to you now, Svetlana. We're
Yes,
very
thank
happy
you
to
for a
have you.
nice presentation of
Yeah.
me. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen today, and thank you for the invitation and opportunity to join you today, Mary Kay, Amy, and Lucy. And thank you, teachers, joining us today and finding time to be here with me and supporting me. So, as Mary Kay said, I'm Bekerman Svetlana, and my Montessori journey started 10 years ago when I moved first to Paris to work on my thesis. Prior to that, I had been teaching English in private schools for about 5 years, and then I decided to apply for a PhD research in methodology and theory of teaching English as a foreign language, and over a decade, I have been teaching English and being a coordinator in 6 to 12 and 12 to 18 environment in Paris, in France. And as Mary Kay said, I have created Montessori English online course for teachers and parents who are interested in teaching their kids or their students, their children, English with the help of Montessori material. So I know I already saw from chat that there are some people coming from my chat of Montessori English teachers, as over 100% successfully, we may say that, attended the online course and graduated. So if you are here with us, could you just wave or raise your hand? Or maybe you know me from my Instagram, which is Montessori Station, and you came from there. So, but I already shows the number of participants, those who I know in person. So that's lovely. And thanks for coming and joining today. So you can write some words in chats if you are here, if you know me already. Well, as I said, my first journey started 10 years ago. And when I first entered the Montessori school, I was struck by the freedom of choice and independence of children. And perhaps the most pivotal moment in my career was realizing that I'm not in the center of attention anymore. So if you have the same feeling, please feel free to share with us in the chat as well. And probably you had the same questions as I did before, because 10 years ago, I was asking myself questions like how to teach reading with the help of Montessori method, how I could implement Montessori and Cambridge exam together, because some parents wanted their children to take the exam, but we were in a Montessori school, so we don't know how to implement both programs together. And couple of questions like how to teach grammar, how to make teaching effective, how to implement method on the lessons, or how to teach other subjects with a method, or what is a Montessori method. Because when I graduated from university, I knew how to teach English, but I didn't know what Montessori method is. So if you had the same questions in your mind several years ago, or maybe right now you have the same questions, so you can share with us, and it will be helpful to see if I were alone or not. Well, so I see that Anastasia, thank you for answering. Okay.
Я бы не сказала, как-то тут низко для стола. Ладно.
Sorry? Oh, okay. Well, so gradually, I will continue my presentation, but if you want to answer to this question and participate, please feel free. So gradually, I started studying literature and attending conferences and taking courses. And one of the courses that I took was at North American Montessori Center in Canada. And also I had done training in Paris in France. And then when I gathered all information, I need to say that the pieces of puzzle started building up in my mind. So today I will try to share with you my teaching techniques with the children for ages 6 to 9. But first, let me introduce you to my school. So my school has been in existence over 30 years, and it was the first international school in France offering Montessori education to children from 2.5 to 18 years old. Children from various countries come and attend our school, such countries as Australia, Spain, China, Russia, Ukraine, and etc. So often for many of these children, English is the only mean of communication, so only way of communication. That's why we decided that the best bilingual model of teaching would be total immersion, where all documents and programs will be written both in English and French languages, and all administrative questions will be also decided, and parents would be informed about the decisions or anything. Well, all communication would be done in both languages. English, we have over 200 students in our school this year, but last year, well, the number can vary from year to year. And as I said, around 30% of children are English-speaking children. And for most of the families, it is essential their children to take the exam in Cambridge exam in English. Every year, almost 25% or 35% of children take Cambridge exam, and
Как это работает?
90% successfully pass. So those 10 probably they are not prepared well. So I'm sorry, Olga, could you turn off your mic, please? Thank you. What I was going to say that, yeah, well, one of the ways for parents, if they move to another country, to prove that their child has a certain level of English is to take the Cambridge exam. So initially in our school, Montessori program, Montessori curriculum, and preparation for the Cambridge exam was running parallel to each other with 1 hour per day for Cambridge exam preparation. But what I noticed and that students became more interested in working colorful textbooks and doing various type of activities in their textbooks rather than taking grammar Montessori material, which they didn't know how to use. Even after the presentation, it was not that attractive, or sometimes there were no pictures, or the presentation could be repetitive. So I became afraid. I got afraid that the children will use more books rather than material, but I wanted the school to be Montessori and following Montessori method, right? So at the same time, I could notice that some topics which are in the Cambridge textbook could be explained with the help of Montessori material. And those topics could be article, definite and indefinite articles, compound nouns, or degrees of comparison of adjectives, and some grammar topics. So thus, I found that there is a need to incorporate two methods, or implement Montessori materials into Cambridge exam preparation. So, and I thought that a systematic approach would be an approach which would implement and combine the preparation for the exam, for the Cambridge exam, with the help of Montessori materials. So a systematic approach would be an approach where all types of language activities are developed. So not just grammar using Montessori materials, but also reading, writing, and speaking. So it would be the approach where the topics studied are repeated from year to year, but they become more complex within the year. The sequence of Montessori presentations would be maintained, progressing from simple to complex. And at the same time, students have or would have autonomy when working with materials or workbooks. As from my observation, when they were working with the workbooks, they were sitting all the time without any use to move in the classroom. So, and without any sense of autonomy. Every time they needed help, they would approach and ask me questions. And at the same time, it was hard to manage the whole class. And in our class, we have, in this year, we have 30 kids. We have 45 kids, but I'm responsible for the group of 25 kids. So it was really difficult to manage the group, explain them the topic, and monitor timely their work, and give an evaluation or appreciation at the same time. And as I said, the ability to move around the classroom would be also maintained, and the approach will be universal for everyone, regardless the fact whether the children are taking exam or they are just coming to school, attending the school, and learning English for themselves without taking exam in future. And students see the results of their progress, which motivates them for further learning. Taking these facts into consideration, I realized that it would be possible to integrate two methods together, and I have started implementing this plan in 2022. And half a year later, I have created individual work plans with workbooks and materials, educational materials, both for teachers to be used for the presentation and for the children to master and reinforce their skills in writing, reading, and speaking. So individual work plans, which you can see here, are the list of topics, mainly for the children from 6 to 12 years old, which the children have to cover with the help of teacher, of course, within one academic year. Typically, these plans are distributed at the beginning of the year to the students on the 3rd or the 4th week of September, after 3 or 4 weeks of teachers' observation. And depending on children's level of English proficiency, also their readiness to work with this. And we also see, see if the child is a native speaker, English native speaker or not, so it may differ. And for children coming from nursery Montessori schools, or from our school, which probably is new for them, we give a little bit more time for adaptation to get acquainted with new environment and with new classmates. The creation of the workbooks, which aim to integrate Cambridge and Montessori program, is based on principles as progression from simple to complex, on learning in movement, repetition, and error monitoring. And several schools in Paris have already started using those materials, and there is an anticipation for the continuation of materials for children aged 9 to 12 years old. So now I will provide you with detailed information about each of these materials. The individual work plan you can see here on the slide would go along with the workbook, and individual work plans look like these. They represent a table of with a list of topics that the child has to cover within a certain period of time, with a reference for teachers to Montessori albums, workbooks, pages in the workbooks that the child has to do, the ones that you saw on the previous slide, and with a homework and vocabulary list. So links to the presentations are based on Montessori albums that I received from North American Montessori Center in Canada, and where I was trained, but you may use those that are appropriate for you, right, if you have done different training. Links to exercises and the workbooks correspond to the workbook actually that I have created, as I said, sorry, and the number of exercises may vary, and sometimes the children go ahead, so they may perform or complete more exercises than it was planned for 1 week. Or there are some who were not interested in something and decided to not to work several days on the topic, so they can postpone, and that's why they can be late. But late, it doesn't mean that he's late according to the program. He needs some more time to come back to this topic. But to be honest, these individual work plans were successful since we have started using them, because the children see their own progress and know what presentation has to be done after which presentation, and they have a guideline on what they are studying and what they need to work on. The homework column that you see here, to be honest, is more for the parents rather than for the teachers. So please wave in chat if some parents demand you to give their children homework. And I had some feedbacks from the parents saying that, oh, Svetlana, we are revising words with my son together, so I'm learning English with you. So that's nice to hear. So as I said, homework is mostly for the parents, not for the children. So please react if you have the same situation in your classroom with your parents. Well, the topics which I have chosen for vocabulary list were taken from the word list, which you can download from cambridge.org site. And there's a PDF format of this document where all words that have to be taught in English are introduced in the list. So I have chosen to work with thematic vocabulary list. You can see here the division on 3 different levels: starters, movers, and flyers. So, and the topics, what is nice for me as a teacher is that the topics are the same for the whole group, right, of children for all levels, which means that when I introduce the topic in the circle or in a group, I can gather different children with different levels. So in this case, I would introduce the topic to everyone, for example, and then I will give particular task to do to starters, to movers, or to flyers. The topics that are represented here, probably as you from chat now, we know that you have prepared children already for the Cambridge exam, so you are familiar probably with this list also, right? Please, if you knew, or if you need a help and decide where to find this list. So in this case, I can share the list of these words with you later after the meeting or during the meeting if we have time. Well, so the topics can be school supplies or weather or days of the week and transport and so on. So the workbook, speaking about the workbook that I created, is a collection of exercises for children aged 6 and up. So I plan to prepare 5 workbooks like this for each for 1 academic year. Right now I have prepared 2 workbooks or students' books for children for first year learning English and second year learning English children. So you may say that it can be used only for the children at the age of 6, but actually no, it's kind of universal, because if the child comes to our classroom at the age of 9 or 10 years old and he has never done English before, you can use these textbooks for him as well, because it would correspond to the first year level student. Okay, so when I was creating the exercises for this textbook, I was mainly focused on skills that children have to have by the end of the year. So this list of skills I have taken from also Cambridge site and common framework of reference for learning English. So you can see the list here, and the text, the exercises would mainly be about developing skills on writing, reading, and speaking. And what I've tried to do also was to implement some Montessori grammar topics that haven't been covered in Cambridge program. So like, for example, capitalization or mechanics of writing or sentence structure, which actually goes without saying when you teach the children and prepare the children, right, for the Cambridge exam. But I have met some children and work with the children who don't know at the age of 6 or 6.5 that days of the week in English are written with a capital letter. So, but that's necessary to know for the Cambridge exam, or because in French we do not write in with a capital letter the names of the days or months. So it was new, and it was necessary for me to implement and mention these type of exercises in workbooks as well. So we're talking about the work plans, talking about the educational material which can be used additionally and in a parallel way with the children. You can see here on the textbook how the child refers to the material. So in the textbook, there would be a sign like this, which shows the child that he has to see his teacher first, and the teacher has to give a presentation on a topic which is mentioned in his workbook. At the same time, this topic would be mentioned also in his work plan. So the teacher gives the presentation with the help of material. I have tried, I would not say that I copied Montessori material, but most of them, as I was based on Montessori curriculum, I had to be close to that. So what I added in this material was pictures with the words, because most of the children, when I was explaining them topics like, let's say indefinite and definite article, or indefinite article an, what they were trying to do was just simply matching an article with a word, just because he knew that a is used with a word which start with a consonant, and an is used with a word which start with a vowel. But he was not realizing the meaning of the word. So in this case, he didn't know how to use it in speech later. So what I tried to change here was to add some pictures, so the child would at the same time understand that this word means this without translating. And well, in this case, it becomes more interesting and attractive for the children. So when the presentation with the teacher is done, the teacher proposes or offers the child to work individually on this material. So you can see here, well, I have prepared for this talk material, which I can show you here. Maybe from the photo is not seen very well. So for example, I have created this type of activity where the children need to categorize the words into 2 columns, those who start with a vowel and those who which start with a consonant. So here in the middle, I have the tape, and the words could be Well, this activity is done right now, but normally the list of words would appear here, and then the teacher with the children decide what word starts with a consonant and what word starts with a vowel. So later, this material will help children to work with a definite, indefinite article, sorry. So, and in the same time, there is a control of error. So from previous years, they know that in movable alphabet, consonants are in red and vowels are in blue. So in this case, he can check himself if he works alone. So this material would be put on the shelf on free access to the children. And after doing and working this activity with this material, the teacher may propose to work on the workbook to reinforce his skills on reading or writing or vocabulary, so whatever was taught. Well, I keep these materials in plastic folders like I have shown on the photo, so they look like this. And normally I label each folder with the name of the presentation, with the year of learning, and with the name of the exercise, which corresponds to the exercise in his workbook. So if you could see here, well, it's done this way. Well, let's take a look on now how it works in the classroom. So these folders would be put on the shelf, on grammar shelf in my classroom. And then when the child takes his material or he takes his workbook, he works with his workbook, and then he says, okay, the teacher needs to give me a presentation. He approaches to me, I give the presentation with the help of this material, and then he can work individually, right? He can correct himself with the list of words which is given in his workbook if he wants to work alone. So I don't need to be always behind him checking everything that he does. And then after that, he would be proposed in his individual work plan to do exercises from his workbook. By the way, these type of exercises I need to correct by myself because they contain some writing activities, so I need to correct spelling. And then after that, to reinforce and master their speaking skills, he would be proposed to work in pairs to practice his speaking skills. And speaking activities would be, let's say, separated into groups. One group would be based on activities with a support, like this one. So like this one. Here you can see the photo with the question and the written question where the child has to fill with one or two words the question. So for example, how many ducks can you see? And ducks would be omitted. So he would just need to put ducks in it according to the picture or according to other objects that he can see on the picture. And another one would answer the question with the help I can see. So I can see would be a support, and he would answer the question, I could see, let's say, two ducks. So that's the first type of activity, speaking activities that they can do in pairs. And then and the second type would be without any support and would be based on repetition of what they learned before. So for example, working again with the same photo here, the children can ask each other questions that they learned before, like what color is the barn, or how many dogs you see, or is there a tractor on the picture, and so on. So this allows children in speaking repeat the materials that they have started before with the help of speaking. So we can see how it works now with the help of some videos that I prepared also for you. So normally I introduce, as I said, from the list of vocabulary that I have taken from Cambridge exam, I would introduce the list of vocabulary in the circle with the help of different books or cards or real objects or through singing a song or participation in dialogue. So there are various ways of how I can introduce vocabulary in the circles, and then the children would work with so by the way, the songs you can take from cambridgeenglish.com.org site. They correspond to each song corresponds to the studied topic, which is very useful. I would recommend you this site. So after the presentation of vocabulary, the child can work with the 3-part cards individually. So for each topic, I have created 3-part cards, and it's on my vocabulary shelf, and children approach and take whenever they feel that they need to master their vocabulary on certain topic. And after that, they will go to speaking, not speaking, well, they will take speaking activity to do in pairs. So here 2 girls on this video are working on asking questions. One of them is asking question to another. If you are familiar with Mover's textbook, probably you have worked on exercise where the children have to answer the questions, who is the naughtiest in your family, who is the prettiest in your family, and so on. So I have taken, let's say, this type of activity. I was inspired with this exercise, and I have created, I've just took it from the book, out from the book, and created my own material. So they are cards, 3-part cards. So one of the students has worked with 3-part cards like this, but on the topic family. And another one has decided to work with her, but as she has advanced level, so she has taken speaking cards and started asking her questions. So I'm sorry for noise in the classroom, but probably, well, I hope you are going to hear what the children are saying. So who is the loudest? Mhm. Who is the oldest, and so on. So as you can see, one of them is using support, and well, probably, I don't know if you can see here, but there are some stickers on the words. So would you like to know why they are stickers? So do you have any guesses? So please write in the chat if you have some guesses why they are stickers on these words. Oh, do you have problems with the sound? Is everything found? Could you hear?
No, we
Uh,
You
couldn't
couldn't hear
hear.
the video, or you couldn't hear me?
No, the video.
Okay.
video.
Okay, so
Fine.
I'm going to say, don't worry, I will just say what they were doing. So the blonde girl was asking the questions which were written on the paper, who is the loudest in your family? And another one had to point, or without pointing, she could just say if she knew, to the member of her family who is the loudest. So she answered. And then second question was, who is the naughtiest and who is the prettiest? And the girl was blocked actually at this question because there are 5 girls in the family. So she didn't know which one to choose, which one of her sisters to choose, who is the prettiest. And she was shy to say that it was her. Okay, so but my question was, if you can see the stickers on the cards, do you have any idea why I'm using stickers? So if there is no, well, I will wait while you are writing. I will show you the second video, which is here. of girls practicing also speaking material, type of material. It was done after learning human body. So one of them is giving comments to the girl, to another girl, and another one is performing actually the action. So can you touch your toes? Can you jump? Can you make a bridge? Well, and so on. Okay, so are there any answers in the chat why the stickers are used? Do you want to know? Please give me some reaction.
It's actually hard to see what stickers you're referring to.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I won't be able to enlarge this video because it's part of the slide, but there are some dots here on the cards.
Okay.
Well, so yes, you're right, Julia. So they are used for different levels. Thank you. So the stickers, as I said, the topics which we study of vocabulary are for the different levels, but sometimes children don't know. I put the pile of cards on the tray, and some of them are lost, what kind of card or words they need to know. So in this case, I use the stickers and starters. The words for starters are labeled with red circle, and words for movers would be labeled with any color you want, actually, right? So in this case, the children, even the children, when they work with the material, they know, okay, I have worked on red label cards for starters. I can now learn some words from movers. So next year, I will be better prepared. And believe me, they are children who are thinking like this. So it's not me. I just decided to use the stickers only after the observation. And one of the children asked me, well, Svetlana, could you help me? Because I don't know, they are over 15 cards on the tray, but which one do I know? That's a lot for me. So, and in this case, I said, okay, well, he is right. I need to change something here. Probably I need to label them this way. And in the circle, I presented how to use this type of material. I introduced and I said, okay, well, red label is for starters, blue is for movers, and so on. So this type of activity, which is represented here on the video, is done with the help of support. But this type of speaking activity is without support when one is asking the question, and for this girl, there is no support. So she practiced this material so much that she knows now the words and she can perform the action. This is a very popular activity, actually, in my classroom. Well, okay, so, and what I was going to say also that the reading part, most of the teachers that I train ask me the questions that by the age of 6 or 7 years old, most of their students don't know how to read. It depends on whether they come from Montessori nursery school or if they come from other schools. So I would recommend, and that's what we are doing also in the classroom. We work on reading green series, and I have also noticed that sometimes it's so repetitive that the children just practice without knowing how to use the words after. So to practice reading part material, I have created also green series workbooks, which are going to be five workbooks. And in each workbook, I'm going to, I created already exercises for 5 or 4 digraphs. So the children would be able to work on different digraphs and practicing comprehension skills, written comprehension skills, oral comprehension skills, and reading, as well as writing. So as I said before, my workbooks are based on practicing and mastering reading, writing, and speaking skills. But unfortunately, right now, technically, I do not have any resource to manage and write listening part activities. So that's why I'm trying to use the listening activities from the textbooks, Fun for Starters, Movers, and Flyers. So these type of activities children can do individually or in groups, and these type of activities are not mentioned in their work plans. So it is teacher guided activity. When I have to mention the children that there is listening to do, would you be interested in it? And in this case, they come and know what CD to use with the help of headphones or without. They can do the activity depending on circumstances in the classroom and conditions in the classroom. Well, to tell you the truth, I have noticed that with the help of systematic approach, children became more interested in learning English and start participating in dialogues and use freely to start communication with English-speaking people in the classroom. So come back to the material quite often without prompting from the teacher, and at the same time they can see their progress with the help of one workbook rather than thousands of worksheets and copies that the children can have in their folders. So if you are interested in purchasing any of these activity books, you may contact me via email, which is montessoristation@gmail.com, or on Instagram, which is Montessori Station.
Great. Thank
So
you very
thank
much.
you. Thank you for your attention, everyone.
Thank you. That was a very complete presentation, and I think a lot of people are very excited to see the materials that you've created. In fact, one of the first questions that's here on the list is it possible to purchase these workbooks? So here, anyone who's interested, here's the contact information if you want to follow up with Svetlana about getting some of these materials. And please share with us if you have other questions for her about any of the materials or her approach and how it works.
Thank you, Mary Kay.
So people are saying thank you.
I see. Thanks.
Um,
I'm reading messages from the chat.
Great. So it doesn't seem like there's many questions from the chat, people who want to know more, just appreciation.
So probably I already answered to the all questions.
Exactly, exactly.
There's one question here. A couple more coming in. I haven't had a chance to write it in the document. Are Cambridge exams done yearly?
Right, they are done.
Yes.
Annually.
And in your slide with the work plan, is the workbook you are referring about, is your workbook, is it your workbook or a Cambridge workbook?
No, it's my workbook. Which you can purchase if you are interested in.
Yeah. And do 6-year-olds do Cambridge exams?
6-year-old children are prepared for the Cambridge exams, but it depends. If they are some who are native speakers, they can take the exam at the age of 6. But again, we do not insist. So it's always parents who take the decision. We prepared along within the year the children, but the final decision is after the parents, because by the end, it's them who pays for the exam. So we just inform the parents that the children are prepared. So if you are interested in having diploma, the child can take the exam. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the presentation. The main purpose for me of creating this material and these workbooks was making it universal for everyone, regardless the fact if whether the children takes exam by the end of the year or doesn't take the exam. So even if he is not willing to take the exam, we know his progression. We see his progression with the help of individual work plans. We know where his level is, right, by the end of the year. So it won't change anything for the teachers if the child doesn't take the exam, but he won't have a diploma for his parents, maybe.
Svetlana, do you mind stopping sharing your screen?
Of course,
so
yeah,
that
okay.
you can
Yeah.
see the
Okay, thank
people
you.
who are with us? Great. So
Getting
I'm seeing,
questions.
we can also people can open up their mics. I see, Sarah, you just put in something about having a separate classroom, or whether all the work takes place in the main classroom. Svetlana.
Right. Everything is okay. Well, I probably haven't mentioned and I haven't talked enough about the organization of our work in the classroom. So I work mainly with the children from 9 to 12, but as I'm coordinator, I coordinate also teachers from teaching children from 6 to 9. And we have total immersion, which means nursery and primary school children are taught 3 hours of English every day. Taught, which means also teachers speak only English with the children. So we do not have assistants coming who take the children in a separate room and do presentations or teach English somewhere else. Everything happens in primary school classroom where I'm the main teacher, if I can say that. And there's group of children who can work on presentation with me, and another group can do in English geography or biology or scientific experiments, science experiments, sorry. So it's Montessori bilingual environment where everyone is involved and does activities in English at the same time during the 3 hours.
Someone else asked just about focusing on the classroom. Do the children also do Montessori sentence analysis with grammar symbols parallel to this work?
They do, but as these workbooks are created only for children for 6 to 9 years old, they do just simple sentences, not the complex one, which will come later for them. But at the same time, I have the whole set of Montessori material represented on the shelves. So those who do not work on workbooks because they are not created yet, I hope to create them by the end of August, probably. So to complete the whole set for the children from 6 to 12 years old. So those children will be working both on Cambridge workbooks and grammar Montessori material.
Okay, and I think that's another follow-up, was wanting to know kind of the balance between the workbooks, which really are focused on the Cambridge skills, and other English lessons that you might be offering the children. But from what you said, I understand it really depends on if you have the workbooks available or not.
Oh, no, actually, it depends on what children want to do. So I give the presentation in the circle. I present the vocabulary or the topics that would go within geography or history or biology. And then the children are free to choose what they would like to do. There are some who would like to work on their individual work plans. Some would like to do geography. So they are free to choose. But at the same time, I observe and I monitor, and I don't want to let the kids work more, let's say, on other subjects rather than doing preparation for Cambridge, especially if I know that by the end of the year, this child is going to take exam.
Yeah, so it really also depends if the parents want the child to take the exam
Right.
or not. There's a question here, when a child doesn't pass the exam, will Cambridge tell them which part they need more practice on?
Well, actually, by the end of when the child received the exam diploma or certificate, it's not pass or fail. That's what I'm trying to explain to my students every time. So before they go to the exam, to reduce their stress, I explained that, well, they did amazing year and progress during the year. And what Cambridge shows, it's just your level and what me as a teacher need to work on with you. So you're going to receive stars for each skill. And if you have 4 stars out of 5, for me, it means that I need to work more with you on, let's say, speaking. But to be honest, since we have started using the systematic approach, they do not have to compare because well, let's say in primary school, everyone had 5 out of 5 stars. So even if they were comparing, there were no regrets, actually. So
Okay.
they all successfully passed.
And I guess I'm also thinking right now for people who have more specific questions about preparing children. We also had a new blog post that went up this week from someone in Mexico City who prepares children for the Cambridge exams. And she actually gives some specific tips about what criteria she uses to decide when a child is ready, etc. So you can complement everything that Svetlana is sharing with us with this blog post as well. And then just let me see. Well, also, Svetlana, people would like to know the price of your materials. A couple of people have asked.
Well, I am not going to say the price right now because it would depend on the option that you choose. It depends on if it is for individual use or for school use. So please contact, in this case, me via email, and I can discuss with you. And also know where the school is and how many children you have. So just get acquainted to each other is also nice and sharing experience.
Absolutely. That's a very nice approach. So you have lots of congratulations here. People are very impressed with all the work you've done, as I have been too, in getting to know you. And I think this is giving schools that are offering the exams or want to offer the exams a huge support and a huge step forward. Oh, someone
Thank
else
you.
asks if there are no Cambridge exams in your area, can we ask Cambridge Press to give it right at our school? Where do your children usually take the exams?
Well, our school is Cambridge Exam Preparation Center, and I guess it depends on number of children that attend the school and annually pass the exam. So if you want your school to become Cambridge Center, I think you need to have at least well, I am afraid of giving wrong information, but you need to check with the Cambridge center next to your area, because I know that our school annually pass annually presents children for the Cambridge exams. So once we became the Cambridge Preparation Center.
And also, I would just recommend that anyone in this situation where you don't know where to go, I'm sure if you contact Cambridge, they'll be more than happy to point you to the exam center closest to you.
Right.
So you won't have any problem identifying where there might be a center in your area. Okay, so I think we'll start wrapping up, and one of our other rituals that we like to do at the end of a presentation and discussion is ask, and it's another mentee question, is for people to share their aha moment from the talk. And this is very nice feedback for Svetlana and also for us to get a sense of what people appreciated from the talk. And again, you can either scan the barcode or you can go to menti.com and type in 61440702. And then on your screen, you'll get the prompt where you can write in your answer. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to do that because it is very helpful for everyone to get this feedback. Mm. Someone was going to draw their answer, it looks like. So yeah, someone likes the way you color coded the different levels.
For different levels, okay. Well, initially I was not going to mention that in my presentation, and that question just popped up in my head. So it was nice to talk about it. Some practical thing for sharing.
Definitely. In a way, you're able to link book activities to the Montessori presentation. The same topics with increasing in complexity.
Oh. Oh, that is possible to prepare students for ILA exams in Montessori environment. Yes, it is. Well, there is again someone else saying that would like to see the workbooks. So please contact, in this case, me, and I will show you in more details.
The Cambridge has songs. Okay.
Well, it's true, we have to adapt ourselves to what parents ask, right? So that's really nice. It's the last one. Thank you.
Yeah, that you've done all this work, Svetlana, basically. Thank you very much. And I know that there are many schools out there that either are offering them the Cambridge exams or considering it. And it's definitely one of the trends in education with more than one language. And so I'm really glad that we've been able to bring you here to introduce you and also all the work that you've done. I think everyone appreciates how dedicated you are and how much time you've invested into developing these materials. So I'm very happy that we were able to bring you and also to provide extra support.
Thank you, Mary Kay. I was looking forward for this meeting. to be a part. Well, once I've learned that there is bilingual Montessori
Mhm.
program, I wanted to participate in it. It was kind of my dream.
Yes, yes, things have come together. So thank you all. I think we will say goodbye for now. This is our second to last community conversation for this school year. The next one will be on May 29th. And it's from a Montessori, by a Montessori guide who, prior to being a guide, was an ESL teacher. And so she's going to reflect on, I mean, it's very from a different perspective, but similar to Svetlana, how we can combine these two worlds to meet children's needs from 6 to 12. That will be with Marianne Manhertz on May 29th. So thank you all for coming, and thank you again to Svetlana. It was really a pleasure to have you. And yeah, and so we can say goodbye now. We invite you to turn on your microphone and say goodbye in your language or one of your languages. And we'll see you again on May 29th. But if you follow our newsletter and our website, you see that there's a lot of other things going on right now. Webinars being released, the online course getting organized. So please also have a look at our website and, give us any feedback and share any questions that you might have. You can always write to me at hello@bilingualmontessori.com.